Are you prepared for a disaster? That's a question we often brush aside, thinking, what are the odds, right? But the reality is, disasters are unpredictable, and they come in different shapes and sizes. From wildfires, hurricanes, earthquakes, to less dramatic but equally dangerous events like power outages or water supply disruptions. And when they strike, they can turn our world upside down in a matter of minutes. But here's the good news. Being prepared can significantly reduce the impact of these events on us and our loved ones. Preparedness isn't just about having supplies, it's about having a plan, a family emergency plan. It's about knowing what to do, where to go, and how to communicate when disaster strikes. It's about ensuring that each member of your family, from the youngest to the oldest, knows their role in the plan. Why is this so important? Well, think about it. In the face of disaster, emotions run high, panic sets in, logic and rational thinking can take a back seat, but when you have a plan, you have something solid to fall back on. You have a roadmap that guides your actions, helping you stay calm and focused amidst the chaos. And remember, disasters don't announce their arrival, they don't wait for us to be ready, they strike when we least expect them. So, the question isn't what are the odds, but rather what if? What if a disaster strikes tomorrow? Would you be ready? Would your family be safe? Preparedness isn't just a state of readiness, it's a state of mind. It's about being proactive, not reactive. It's about taking control of our safety and well-being, rather than leaving it to chance. So, let's get started on this journey of preparedness. Let's arm ourselves with the knowledge and tools we need to face any disaster head-on. Because when disaster strikes, your family's safety depends on the actions you've taken today. What are the dangers that you and your family might face? This is the question that we need to ask ourselves when we start thinking about disaster preparedness. Understanding the risks that are inherent to your location and circumstances is a pivotal step in creating an effective emergency plan. This doesn't just mean considering the common and well-known hazards like floods or hurricanes. It also involves thinking about less obvious factors that could put you and your loved ones in harm's way. If you live in an area prone to earthquakes, for example, you'll need to plan for scenarios that could arise from seismic activity. This could include aftershocks, landslides, or even tsunamis if you're near the coast. On the other hand, if you're in a region that experiences severe winters, you might need to prepare for the possibility of being snowed in, losing power, or facing freezing temperatures. But it's not just about geography and climate. Personal circumstances can significantly impact the risks you face. For those with medical conditions or disabilities, a power outage could mean more than just sitting in the dark. It could mean life-sustaining medical equipment stops working. If you have pets or livestock, you'll need to consider their needs in your emergency plan too. Researching and gathering information about potential risks might seem daunting, but there's a wealth of resources available to help you. Local government websites, weather bureaus, and emergency services often provide detailed information about the types of disasters that can occur in your area, as well as advice on how to prepare for them. In the end, it's all about being proactive rather than reactive. It's about taking the time now to understand the dangers that could impact you and your family, so that if disaster does strike, you're not left scrambling to figure out what to do. Remember, knowledge is power. The more you know about the risks you face, the better prepared you can be. So don't leave it to chance. Make understanding risks a key part of your disaster preparedness journey. Knowing the risks helps you to plan accordingly. How do you create a family emergency plan? It is a question that may seem daunting, but with a little planning and preparation, it can be a straightforward process that provides peace of mind and the knowledge that your family is ready to handle any disaster. Let's break down the steps of creating a family emergency plan. The first step in any plan is identifying safe spots in your home and community. These could be areas in your home that are structurally sound and less likely to be affected by a disaster, like an interior room on the first floor during a tornado. In your community, look for designated emergency shelters or safe zones. Knowing where these safe spots are can make all the difference when every second counts. Next, establish communication methods. In a disaster, regular communication channels might be disrupted, so it's important to have a plan in place. Consider investing in a battery-operated or hand-crank radio for updates. Also, set up a family group chat where everyone can check in. Remember to establish a contact outside your immediate area who can serve as a relay point for information, as local communication may be more affected by the disaster. Then, decide on meeting points. Have a few different options for where to meet in case you get separated or can't return home. These could be a local landmark, a community center, or even a family friend's house. Make sure each family member knows where these are and how to get there from home, school, or work. Assigning roles to each family member is another crucial part of your plan. Everyone should have a job to do in an emergency. This could range from who grabs the emergency kit, who is in charge of ensuring everyone is accounted for, to who will handle communication with external parties. Having these roles assigned and understood ahead of time can help keep things orderly in a chaotic situation. Remember to consider the unique needs of your family. If you have young children, elderly family members, or pets, your plan will need to include provisions for them. This could be anything from having a favorite toy ready to comfort a scared child, ensuring there's a supply of necessary medications, or arranging for a safe place for pets if they can't accompany you to a shelter. Finally, write down your plan and keep copies in several places, such as in your emergency kit, your car, at work, or even digitally on your phone. You never know where you might be when disaster strikes, so having access to your plan at all times is crucial. A well-crafted plan can be your family's lifeline during a disaster. So take the time to create one, discuss it with your family, and update it regularly. It may seem like a lot of work, but the peace of mind and the knowledge that you're prepared is worth every minute spent. What should your emergency kit contain? A question that could potentially save your life. When disaster strikes, having a well-stocked emergency kit can make all the difference. So, let's take a moment to go through the essentials. Let's begin with food and water. In an emergency, you may find yourself without access to fresh food or clean water. That's why it's crucial to have a 3-day supply of non-perishable food and 1 gallon of water per person per day. The food should require no refrigeration, preparation, or cooking, and little or no water. Canned goods, energy bars, and dried foods are excellent choices. Next, we have medicines. If you or any member of your family relies on prescription medications, it's essential to have a spare supply in your kit. Don't forget to include a basic first aid kit as well. It should contain bandages, antiseptic wipes, tweezers, medical tape, and pain relievers. Now let's talk about important documents. In the aftermath of a disaster, you might need to prove your identity or ownership of assets. Your kit should include copies of important documents such as passports, driver's licenses, social security cards, deeds, or leases. It's also wise to have a list of important phone numbers and a copy of your family emergency plan. Tools are another crucial component of your emergency kit. A multi-tool, which can serve as a knife, can opener, screwdriver, and more, is a versatile choice. Don't forget about a flashlight and extra batteries. A hand-cranked or battery-operated radio can keep you connected with the outside world. And a whistle can help you signal for help if needed. There are a few additional items that can prove useful in an emergency. These include personal hygiene items like toothbrushes and soap, and cash and small amenities. If you have infants or pets in your family, don't forget to pack supplies for them as well. Lastly, everything should be packed in airtight plastic bags and stored in 1 or 2 easy-to-carry containers, such as plastic bins or a duffel bag. Remember, an emergency kit is more than just a collection of items. It's a survival toolbox. Each item serves a specific purpose and contributes to your safety and well-being during a crisis. Your emergency kit is your survival toolbox. It's worth noting that an emergency kit isn't a set-it-and-forget-it item. It's important to maintain your kit. Check your food and water supplies every 6 months to make sure they're still good. Review your needs every year and update your kit as your family's needs change. In conclusion, an emergency kit is a vital part of any family's emergency plan. It's not just about having the supplies, but understanding why each item is necessary. Your emergency kit is your survival toolbox. How do you ensure your plan works? It's a question that's as important as the plan itself. It's not enough to have a plan in place. That plan needs to be thoroughly practiced and understood by every single member of the family. Think of your emergency plan like a fire drill at school or work. The first time you hear that alarm, you might not know exactly where to go or what to do. But after a few practice runs, you know exactly where to exit, where to meet up, and who to check in with. Your family emergency plan should work the same way. Regular practice of the plan is crucial. It helps everyone remember what to do and where to go, even in the midst of chaos and confusion. It's like muscle memory. Once your body has performed an action enough times, it becomes second nature. You don't have to think about it, you just do it. And in an emergency, when every second counts, that can make all the difference. Moreover, practicing the plan allows you to identify any potential issues or improvements. Maybe the meeting spot isn't as safe as you thought, or perhaps a family member isn't able to carry their designated supplies. These are things you want to find out during a practice run, not during an actual emergency. In addition to practicing, it's also important to update your plan as needed. Life changes, and so should your plan. If you move houses, have a new family member, or even get a new pet, your plan needs to reflect those changes. Each family member's understanding of the plan is equally important. Everyone should know their role and what's expected of them. If someone is unsure, it's time for a review and possibly more practice. Remember, a plan is only as good as its execution. Practicing and updating your plan regularly isn't just about being prepared, it's about ensuring the safety of your loved ones. Practice makes perfect, and in this case, it could save lives. What role does your community play in disaster preparedness? As you may have guessed, it plays a significant role. You see, the concept of community resilience is a cornerstone of effective disaster preparedness. This essentially means that the stronger and more prepared our community is, the better we can withstand, adapt to, and recover from the impacts of disasters. Let's break it down a bit. A resilient community is one that is well-informed, well-connected, and well-prepared. Here's why. Everyone in the community is a potential first responder during a disaster. So the more people in your community who are prepared, the safer everyone will be. And it's not just about the individuals. It's also about the community organizations such as schools, businesses, and faith-based and civic groups. These organizations can provide critical support during a disaster, from emergency shelters to food and medical supplies. But how can we build this community resilience? One of the most effective ways is through community involvement in disaster preparedness. This means getting involved in local disaster drills, joining a community emergency response team, or even organizing a neighborhood watch group. Participating in local disaster drills, for instance, can provide invaluable hands-on experience. It can help you and your neighbors understand what to do in a disaster, how to use your emergency supplies, and how to communicate effectively. It can also help identify any potential weaknesses in your community's disaster plan, which can then be addressed and improved. Remember, disaster preparedness isn't a solitary endeavor. It's a collective effort that involves everyone in the community. So don't be a passive bystander. Be an active participant. Encourage your friends, family, and neighbors to get involved as well, because when disaster strikes, it's not just about surviving, it's about coming together as a community to overcome. So, let's make a commitment to not only prepare ourselves, but to also help prepare our communities, because together we are stronger. Are you now ready to prepare for a disaster? We've journeyed through the crucial elements of disaster preparedness today. We've understood the importance of being prepared, recognizing the risks that can affect us, and creating a robust family emergency plan. We've learned about the essential supplies that should be included in your emergency kit, and the significance of practicing this plan regularly. Remember, your family's safety is paramount, and the best way to ensure this is through preparedness. Equip yourself with the knowledge and tools necessary to face any disaster with courage and calm. Moreover, don't underestimate the power of community. We stand stronger together. Involving your community in your plans and preparations can make a world of difference, not just for your family, but for everyone around you. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click the bell icon for more disaster preparedness tips. Remember, your safety is in your hands.